Hello everyone, this is Manohar. Today I'm going to walk you through name ranges. I've divided this whole video into 6 different parts. The first part is what is a name range and how to create a simple name range. So what is a name range? Name range is nothing but a name that is given to a cell or a group of cells or a formula. Let me quickly show you how to create a simple name range. Let's say this is my data. I have a header. I want to create a name range for my headers. So let me go to the name box. I'll put the name as service area. So service area becomes the name for my name range. So let me go to different sheet. Now I want to go back to my name range. You can simply select name box, drop down and select the name range. It will go to that sheet. So you can also go to formulas tab, name manager. Here you can see all the name ranges within your workbook. You can select that name range, click edit. You can either rename that name range or even you can change the reference or you can change the range for that name range. Rules for creating a name ranges. First character of a name must be a letter, underscore or a backslash. Remaining characters in the name can be letters, numbers or underscore characters. You cannot use a space as a part of your name for a name range. Names are not case sensitive. So you can write a name range in small letter or a caps letter, so it's not going to make a difference. Names cannot be same as a cell reference such as $8 or R1D1. Don't use C, R or R as a defined name. They are used as a selection shortcuts. In fact, I suggest never use a single letter in your name range.
Let us go to the next topic, how to create a name range using your worksheet labels. So here when I say labels, I'm talking about the column headers or a row headers of your data set. Let me go to the previous example. Here I have a data set with the headers, header name as service area 1, 2, 3. I want to create a name range for each column using this data set. So I can create a name range using a name box, selecting each column. I'll go and rename it, or I can go to a name manager and click new to create the name range. Otherwise, there is a shortcut in Excel that will allow you to create a name range. So how to do that? Let's select the data for which we want to create the name range. I'll go to formulas tab. Within the define names, there is a button called create from selection. The shortcut for that is Control Shift F3. So when you click that, you will get a small pop-up box asking you to create a name range from values in the top row, left column, bottom row, right column. So basically it is asking you what are the name ranges you want to select. So do you want to create the name range based on your top row headers, based on your left column values? So here I want to create the name range only based on my headers, which is top row. I don't want to create my name range based on the left column values. Okay, then I click OK, and you go to name box. You can see it has created service area 1, 2, 3. You can check if the name ranges are correct. This is the same data set, but I've changed the headers slightly to have a space in them and to show you what happens when you create the shortcut and how the name range is created when there is a space or some character which is not as per name range rules. So I'll follow the same process step. I'll select the data, I'll go to formulas, I'll define names, create from selection. I select top row, I click OK. Name range has been selected. So let's see how it has been named. If you see, there is some underscores coming in there. It's not fully visible here. I'll go to name manager. So So these are the three new name ranges that has been selected. So what Excel has done is wherever it found a space, it has replaced it with underscore. Similarly, if there is any special character in your name, it is going to remove that from your name. Okay, let's go to the next topic, how to use name ranges. So name ranges can be used as bookmarks, just like my previous example. You can go to the drop down, you can select a name range, it will navigate. So this is nothing but bookmark. There are two more ways you can use name ranges. You can use it in data validation, you can use it in a formula. Now let's see how to use name range in a data validation. Select service area 1. Okay, this is where I'll create a data validation, a drop down selection, data validation. I'll say list. Generally you can select the source for the data, but here I'm going to give a name range. I'll say service area 1. Now it will automatically show me all the service areas because I have created a name range with the service area as my range. So instead of giving this range, I'm giving the name in the data validation, so it will check the name and use this range in the data validation. So that is the way how you use a name range in a data validation. Now let's see how to use a name range in a formula. I'll show a very simple example. Let's say I want to see what is the fifth value in a data range. Okay, I'll say I'll use index formula. Okay, here array. Okay, array is nothing but the range of data. Here, instead of selecting actual data like this, what I'm going to do is I'll write service area 1. Okay, row number. I know the index fifth value, so I'll say fifth row, and I will say column as 1. That is going to give me the fifth value. What I've shown you is a very simple example here, but you can use it in more complex formulas as well. Let us go to our next topic, how to create a dynamic name range. Before that, I'll show you why do we need a dynamic name range. So in this example, I'm going to add a new service line. Okay, and if you now check the data validation, it is not showing that value at all. That is because when you create a name range, your range is static. It's not going to recalculate if there is a new value within that list. So in order to make the name range automatically pick the additional lines, or you need to make the name range dynamic. So now let's see how to create a dynamic name range. I'll go to name manager. I want to convert service area 1 to a dynamic name range. So in order to create a dynamic name range, you have to use offset formula. So write offset. The first syntax is the range of the cell, so from where you want to start the formula. So let's say I want to start the offset formula from B6. Okay, the next is the row. So let's say I want my reference to go one cell down or one cell up. I have to give +1 -1, but here I want to use row 6 as my starting point, so I'm not going to change that. Similarly, I don't want to change my column. I want to keep B as my column. See, if I want to change, I can change it to C by writing 1, or I can make it as A by writing -1, but here I want to use B as 1. B as my column reference, so I'm writing it as 1. Now the next syntax is the height of your name range. So for that, I'm going to use count A formula, I'll say how many values are there in column B minus my column. Okay. Next syntax is width of your column. The next syntax is width. So here I just want to use one column. I'll write it as 1, whereas if you want to use set of columns for your name range, you can use a count A, or you say you want to use 3 columns, 4 columns for from your reference. It will consider those columns for the name range. I'll close bracket. I'll click right click. Now if you click here, it is showing me what range it has calculated. Close. You can see now service line 11 has come in the list. Similarly, I can go and add another service line. It will come automatically.